Hopefully that warm-up went all right for you. The term we talked about, we just did that over here. Making something bigger or smaller is we're dilating it without a grid there. You just did it. Now we're going to include a grid. Okay, we're going to include a grid, a circular grid, in fact, on page 15, called concentric circles. Concentric circles is what that is called. It says, what do you notice? What do you wonder? I'll give you 30 seconds, write something you notice, something you wonder, and then please share what those are. One thing you notice, one thing you wonder about that grid. All right, one thing you notice. Parker?
One thing I noticed is it is a circle.
Yes, that is certainly something. There are circles there. That is certainly something to notice. What do you notice, Lily?
I said it's a circle.
It's a circle. Taylor?
There's lines in it.
There are lines in it. Okay, what do you wonder? Addie, what do you wonder? Addie doesn't wonder anything. I wonder what in the world we're going to use this for. Why is there so many circles?
It's all asking.
Yeah, what's the point, right? What's the point? You notice they all have the same center. And hopefully you're asking yourself some questions. We're actually going to use this grid to dilate figures, right? Make it bigger or smaller here as we go. So take a look at the next one. It says circle D is a dilation of the smaller circle, right? It's dilated. Obviously, it's bigger. It's bigger. Scale factor would be a number bigger than 1. P is the center of the dilation. That's where just like when we had a pivot point, that is where we start at, point P. It says draw 4 points on the smaller circle and label them. E, F, G, H. So we're going to draw that on C at this point. So put 4 points on there. If you want to put them the same as me, that's fine. I'm just going to scatter. I'm going to put a couple close together. And spread the other ones out. Now it says draw the rays from P through each of those 4 points. Everybody know what a ray is? Ray just has a starting point and it goes off in one direction. So if you have something to draw a straight line with, otherwise there are rulers up here. Wants us to just connect P all the way through our points. Okay, no matter where we put those points, our answers are going to be the same here as we go. Location of the points will be different, but our numerical distance will be the same. It says label the new spot where they would cross the outside circle. E prime, F prime, G prime, and H prime. Okay, those is where those will be located at. Then we're going to complete the table on the bottom of 4. Distance from P, anytime it asks you for distance, make sure your answer is always positive here. From the smaller circle. So how far was it from P to E? Well, if you count these as all being 1, how far was it from P to our original E? How many lines did you cross? 2, right? 1, 2. P to F, 1, 2. P to G, 1, 2. That should be the case for all of them. The distance to all those is 2. What is the new distance to the outside big circle? 6. That is true for all of them. So then on the next page it says, all right, what is the scale factor? How much bigger is that big circle? What?
Is it like 3 times?
Is it like 3 times? What do you think? Yeah, so you're looking at it as 2 times what? That's our scale factor. Got us to 6. Still think it's 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Scale factor is 3. It's 3 times bigger. 2 times all of those is 6. Now, a common answer will be 4, right? Everybody wants to add. We just talked about that in the homework. Never add. You multiply. Yeah, you multiply it. 3 times bigger. Okay, 17 here, question 3. It says dilate each vertex using ABCD using P as a center of dilation, scale factor of 2. So why don't you see if you can draw the figure now bigger with a scale factor of 2. So it should be twice as big. What you end up with should be twice as big. Knowing what we just covered. Okay, use that circle. It already has it drawn for you. Use it up. All right, so hopefully you have a good start here. So what you're looking for is the distance, right? From B to P is 2. If I am going to go twice as big, now it's going to be 4. So there would be my new B. C is a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So double that would be 10. Make sure you stay on the same line, of course. P to D would be 1, 2, 3, so I need to go to 6. P to A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now let's just connect the dots. So you just double the distance, every one. Okay, you double every distance. Notice I don't have to now measure each side. That is the point of the grid. Now it's automatically going to be twice as big. So concentric circles makes it a little easier for you. And they all have the same center. That is the definition of that. Question 4 says you could choose other points as well on here. I mean, you could have chose this point, and notice it's about 2 there, so it should be 4 if you draw it perfectly, and that's pretty close. Again, it's not going to be perfect because my lines are even just a tad off. But every point that you pick to the outside, it should be double that. That should be true for all of them. So I'm just going to write everything is doubled from little circle to big. All right, now it says do the same thing, make it half as big. Okay, make it half as big. So I'll use in the same circle in our original figure. Make it half as big. Okay, label those E, F, G, H is what the directions said, so that's what I labeled it. The P to C is 5, so I just went 2.5. P to D was 3, so I went 1.5. Again, you're not going to have to measure. You can just eyeball that. Obviously, it should be smaller. And it says, what do you notice about polygon EFGH? Well, I know it's a scaled copy of it because I did the same thing to every side. It's a scaled copy of both the middle one and the large one. I could even ask how much smaller it is than the big one. Okay, what's the scale factor to go from the huge one, the big one, to the little guy? So I went from the big one to the small one. What would the scale factor be? It's not half. All right, so from P to the outside is 4. Here it's 1. So 4 times what is 1? All right, so it's double, so the big one is 4 times bigger. But how about going the other way from the big one to the little one? 1/4, yeah, it'd be the reciprocal. So this guy is 1/4 as big as the big one. If you go the other way, this one is 4 times bigger than the little one. All right, 1 times 4 would give you here. 1.5 times 4 would give you out to here. Or this was 2.5 times 4, excuse me. This one was 1.5 times 4 would put you here. 2 times 4 would put you out here. So the big one is 4 times bigger. The other way is just a reciprocal. You can write skip by the are you ready for now. Talk about the last one. It says dilate EFGH using Q as the center, scale factor of 1/3. So we want to make a shape that's 1/3 as big as that one. They have F prime already drawn for you, already on there. So why don't you find out where G prime would be, H prime, and E prime, and connect the dots. First step would be, of course, to draw all the rays, right? Connect the dots. And then just start counting. Okay, so again, I'm just counting every distance and I'm dividing it by 3 to get a third of it. Put them on the rays and connect the dots. So again, the scale factor from going small to big would be 3. Big to small would be a third, the reciprocal of that. Those are, again, the scale factors. So circular grid does make it more accurate versus just counting and then kind of guessing what the angle is. That's what drawing those rays will help with. So it does help draw dilations, making things bigger or smaller. The center, of course, is where you start your dilations at, your starting point. Center of dilation would be Q in this case. Another example for you on page 20. I think we've done enough. I think we can get right into the assignment starting on page 21. Again, they do have major formatting issues. Like number 2, it says here's the triangle. It's not written in invisible ink. All the questions and the triangle are on the next page. So just 4 questions there for you today. So that'll be due on Monday, 1 through 4 for Monday, please.